Warning, the following video is rated M for if you're young, you shouldn't watch this, so viewer discretion is advised. But hey, I won't tell if you won't. So Resident Evil 4 came out in 2005 and everyone was like... The game was critically praised for its fast-paced action gameplay, creative level design, and for the fact that Resident Evil 4 took everything from the past games and burned it to the ground and drop-kicked it straight into hell. Yes, RE4 is considered one of the best games ever made, and for a lot of people, the only good Resident Evil, because it took the series into a totally, yet very appropriate, new direction. Contrary to the previous game's tone and pacing, RE4 was an incredibly self-aware game that realized that the RE universe and plot was kinda stupid. So lo and behold, RE4 hammed it up to create a campy, fun, action horror game for the whole family. Originally planned to be a GameCube exclusive, a deal that lasted a whole 7 minutes, Capcom eventually showed off their masterpiece as much as they could, porting the game to the PS2, Wii, iPad, whatever the heck a Zebo is, the Xbox Easy Bake Oven, PS4 graphics calculator, and the almighty glorious better in every way, shape, and form, the PC. Of course, RE4 is seen to many people as the peak of the series, and Capcom has struggled to replicate its mass appeal ever since. But to be fair, they did set the bar really high. I mean, let's be real, you got monsters, snappy comebacks, action so tense only a butter knife could cut through it, and don't forget buns of steel! So of course it's gonna be hard to top, I mean, come on, my god! But anyway, if you're new to this game for some reason, here are a bunch of tips, tricks, and heads up for people who don't know about this game. So you play as the handsome, beefy, tall glass of water with a dumb haircut, Leon, a former police officer of Raccoon City. A few years after the events of the past games, Leon is sent on a mission to rescue the president's daughter, Ashley, who has been kidnapped by a secret cult located in a creepy part of Spain-a-Palooza. I don't know, they don't actually mention what part of Spain. Let's just have fun with it, guys, okay? Improvise! But once Leon manages to reach one of the villages, he realizes that something ain't quite right with the people, since, you know, everyone's a bloodthirsty old people zombie, sponsored by Depends the adult diaper, who craved that sweet Leon booty and won't stop until he's smeared across the wall. Oh god! But it becomes really obvious that the people aren't just a bunch of randos trying to get their Jesus on and spread the word of God. But events quickly escalate, and it's soon revealed that the cult has a lot more in store than just kidnapping some basic-ass white girl, and the fate of the world might be at stake. Because, like, zombies and stuff, you guys know how these things go. And it's all up to Leon to find out what the cult plans to do and stop them, while making sure that Ashley gets out alive. Oh, that's a darn shame. But along the way, you'll meet accents, Bigfoot's cousin, 50 Shades of Dirt, decapitation, screaming, trolls who just need a good hug, white people, explosions, a red-dressed woman who has no idea what being subtle means, Call of Duty fans, fruity midget men, fashion, spicy foreign hotties, Ashley getting kidnapped, Leon being snarky, Ashley getting kidnapped, Leon thinking he's cool, Ashley getting kidnapped, Leon getting killed, Ashley getting kidnapped, the game over screen, and then Ashley getting oh wait, no, she is dead. Oh, she shit. Now, you should know that while certain characters and references are in RE4, no, you really don't need to know much, if anything, from previous games to understand what's going on. If anything, this game acts as a very, very, very soft reboot, although knowing past games does make RE4 a real doozy because it's like Whiplash with the pace change, good lordy. Think of RE4 as that wacky, fun uncle that slips you booze and nobody's looking, because while the game does have some quote-unquote serious moments, the overall vibe and plot is just a crappy zombie sci-fi film with Shorty McFruity Boo here, and the plot is by no means complicated. It's just used as a backdrop to throw Leon into weird and exciting situations like this, and this, and oh come on, get up you big baby, it didn't hurt that much! Long story short, story is fun, you're a dude with a gun, bang bang shoot shoot, zombies be everywhere, Ashley belongs in there, God bless America, the story is not that important. Moving on! Okay, so design-wise, RE4 is a semi-linear open-level objective-based action game. Basically, it tells you what you need to do and where to do it, and then you do it. Ta-da! But Leon keeps in constant contact with Ingrid, who will keep you up to date on your objective. And pro tip, the objective is always just find Ashley and get the heck out of there. But of course, stuff normally doesn't go according to plan. But while the world is semi-linear in design and new areas open up as you progress the story, you do have the option to return to past areas and backtrack to a certain degree, and in some cases you may spend a considerable amount of time in one area that loops in on itself or has different paths. However, know that RE4 has tons of points of no return, so if you see something cool, Nito, you better deal with it then and there, or else you'll never ever see your boo ever again. But yeah, you can move freely around the levels, but when it comes to the levels themselves, the game constantly changes things up, but your objective is normally just go from point A to B, or kill the things, or keep the villagers from giving you the suck, or whatever the that is! Now, while the game is constantly throwing curveballs, you can expect the same rinse and repeat formula. Something goes to crap, Leon calls tour guide Barbie, she tells you where to go, you make your way to the massive red dot on your map, maybe have to find like 2 items to open a door, fight a bunch of dudes, action set pieces, solve one of the many McFrickin' puzzles, kill a boss, get to your location, and then something else goes to crap because Spanish God hates you and you gotta do it all over again, oh boy! Overall, pretty straightforward. But while it is obvious where to go, most areas do have places to explore, but items are needed in order to progress to certain areas of the game. And while most of the necessary items are in the immediate area, make sure to be thorough and don't leave areas until you have explored everything and found all the goods. Also, interact with everything. RE4 is really obnoxious with button prompts and will shove them in your face, so if you see anything that you can lift, pull, yank, lick, sniff, shoot, push, or make out with, I don't care, do the thing. It's probably important. Now, some of the game's curveballs and unique events can be really freaky and panicky and really tense, and I didn't sign up for this. You can't make me, Dad! But often gameplay is shaken up for specific events, so be ready for new situations all the time. And I'm sorry if I'm being really vague, I'm trying to keep this spoiler free, but you got this, guys, I believe in you. But if you're having trouble for whatever reason, be sure to read these notes just chilling in areas. They can be pretty insightful sometimes on how to solve or beat things and tend to foreshadow future encounters.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.
The environment is also sketchy as crap and full of traps and little surprises, so I'll just be blunt and say keep your eyes out for weird stuff on the side of trees and the ground and hope you don't have a bad time. But just a reminder, everything is trying to kill you! But I have faith you'll pay attention to what's going on around you. No pressure. And also puzzles! RE4 loves them puzzles, either it be jumping around, moving shapes, finding out your favorite color, or just good old-fashioned counting. Now, they are all different, but for the most part easy to solve, so don't worry about it. They are just for the most part common sense stuff, so you got this. Unless you're stupid, and stupid people don't upvote my videos, so you might want to think about that for a sec, kiddo. But if you're super mega lazy and don't give a crap about your gamer honor, links below for those puzzle tips, okay, good, awesome. I'm actually kinda dumb, don't tell my parents. I looked up half the answers. Okay, now RE4 is very much all about that gameplay. You like guns? Well, good, this is a big boys game after all, because while you progress through the game, you'll be able to bang and pew your way through tons of enemies and grandmas and grandpas. But yes, shooting is the main way you'll play this game, and you'll have a plethora of weapons to buy and unlock. And we'll get to the gun details soon. Now, for the most part, shooting is rather simple. Just aim and pull the trigger and BAM! They did! But for some reason, Liam becomes crippled when aiming, and you can't move. Mine is just swinging your gun around for dear life, hoping you hit something. You think they would have covered moving and shooting at the same time in police training, but the moving really isn't an issue. Most enemies move at a snail's pace anyway, and if you just run and get some distance between you and the enemy, then you should be able to mow down dudes no problem. And real talk, don't be afraid to run past dudes to get some of that sweet distance between you and the enemy. It's more helpful than you know.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Okay, so while shooting is how you take out the dudes, it's best to keep in mind that this is still technically a survivor horror game, which means you need to conserve ammo, kiddo. And don't shoot willy-nilly. Not in this economy, guys. We are on a bullet budget because got news for ya. If you run out of ammo for whatever reason, you're kind of screwed. So be sure to just stay calm, relax, take a deep breath, and shoot with purpose. Now, there are a few things that you can do to conserve ammo. When enemies start getting in your face trying to give you the smooch, you have a knife that works the same as a gun, but it can only do little sweepy sweep moves, but it does do decent damage, and it is good for shaking off dudes if you like stabbing. Also, when shooting certain enemies, they can be stunned for a sec, and you can run up to them, and you should get a massive button prompt to roadhouse the European out of these liberals. Go for it, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Now, enemies can be real bullet sponges sometimes, so try to aim for their heads, but just FYI, enemies have a thing for not dying when they're dead, and sometimes grow a demonic pasta head that is just bad news for everybody. So just keep aiming at their heads and just shoot anything that moves. Remember, they ain't dead until they dissolve into fart juice. On top of that, the game constantly introduces new enemies with unique abilities and specific weaknesses, so be aware of your surroundings because the environment can be the key to killing the dude. Now, while shooting the guys until something happens can be pretty effective, if the dude ain't dying, chances are they have a weak spot somewhere on their body. So keep your eyes peeled for weird looking stuff on their bodies and then go for it. But again, keep your distance. I know it can be kind of hard when you're shoved into a broom closet with some of these guys, but just don't panic. Back up. Just get out of there. Kiddo, run! Run! I really hate these guys. Okay, so like I said, RE4 is a heavy gameplay experience, and there is a lot of hot, fresh challenge and mechanics the game throws at you. Once again, the mission is just to save Ashley, you know, everyone's favorite bundle of sunshine, but you find her pretty early on in the game, and that's where things get fun. Once you meet up with Ashley, she's gonna be by your side about 80% of the game, but the catch with her is that if she dies, it's game over. Say hello to the world's longest escort mission, kids, but be real, she isn't that bad. Ashley will follow you around like a lost puppy, and you have a series of commands to keep her out of trouble, and more importantly, out of your gosh diddly dang way. Give me some personal space, lady, jeez! But it's best to keep Ashley away from the action as much as possible and clear the area of enemies first, since she has the endurance of a Pringle, and a gentle summer's day breeze could tear the poor girl in half. But you have the option to make her follow you, make her wait where she is, or my personal favorite, make her hide in a dumpster where she belongs. But enemies will try to pick her up and take her away, and if they manage to leave the area with her, it's also a game over. And while the dudes move rather slowly, it's best to just keep her out of the way in general, since all Ashley can really do is just stand there like a big dope and practice her white privilege. Now, occasionally you'll have to protect Ashley while she does some stuff, since she's small enough to reach certain areas that Leon can't. And just pro tip, if Ashley is being taken away by dudes, yes, you can accidentally shoot her and she will die, and it's really, 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 really awkward. So no joking around with that thing, kiddo, because remember, guns don't kill people, Leon kills people. Now, Ashley is pretty easy to handle for the most part, but she is not the most obnoxious thing in this game, let me tell ya. I pray to God you have fast reflexes, because RE4 has tons of random quick time events that make me want to poop my pants every time. Listen, these things are kind of all over the place, but they are incredibly punishing if you mess them up, and lordy, these quick time events are quick. So be on red alert all the time and get ready to slam them buttons, holy shit! The most I can say is expect a lot of QTs and bosses, but also cutscenes. Yeah, no movie time for you, sweetie. There is no relaxing ever. Never put your controller down, because RE4 doesn't really care if you like to eat wings during cutscenes. You gotta be ready every second all the time, or else you're gonna get all panicky and cover your controller in sauce, and then get an early game over and miss it anyway. Ah, gosh dang it! Okay, so like I said, guns. There are lots and lots of guns and items that you'll need in order to survive and bring the pain. And it's important to have at least one gun of each type, so try not to load up on nothing but Nerf guns, okay kiddo? Variety is key. But as you make progress through the game, you'll come across the most amazing, perfect, beautiful, handsome, considerate human alive, the Merchant. My husband, everybody. But go figure, the Merchant is the dude you can buy and sell items with. But it is really important that you trade and buy stuff often so you can see all of his rare things, if you know what I mean. Oh. But weapons aren't the only thing that you need to nut over, because as you progress through the game, you'll come across tons of crap and items that you can use and sell. Stuff like gems, treasures, health sprays, health weed, yellow weed, red weed, and the most precious almighty eggs. Items are literally everywhere though, and are dropped by enemies, so be sure to destroy everything from boxes to glass to barrels, and shoot stuff that is out of reach to collect all the goods, and keep your eyes peeled for anything shiny. Be real though, sell your crap, you hoarder! Those pretty rock gems are gonna keep you company at night, but if you get items that seem like they could be a part of a set, hang on to them until you can combine the items and then sell them for the big bucks. Also, try not to get crushes on your weapons, because selling old weapons to buy better new ones is the way to go, so I'm sorry kiddo, you need to let her go, it's time to move on! You can also purchase upgrades for your weapons, but I recommend not going overboard with this and only upgrading weapons as needed, because again, you'll probably be ditching them for better ones later down the line. But if you want to know the best upgrades and the best weapons and how to get all the best gear, links below, because someone is gonna yell at me about what gun is the best. You'll just think you're so clever, don't you? But with that being said, just saying, the shotgun is really McFrickin' good and it's my best friend. No, really, just hang on to this and upgrade it because, oh my god, it just blows right through dudes. Is it legal to marry a gun? Probably in West Virginia, and if that's the case, goodbye, my people, I am gone! But you know what? Selling and using items and weapons are pretty straightforward. Sell useless crap, switch out weapons often, eat weed if your health is low. But let's talk about inventory management, an informational segment brought to you by Buns. Look, you just can't shove all the crap up your butt and call it a day. RE4's inventory takes constant care, and if you have OCD, get ready to suffer. Think of the rule, if it fits, it sits, and each item takes up a certain amount of spaces in your inventory, and you have to constantly move things around to squeeze in all your essentials. Basically, this is the reason why you can't hoard weapons, but just be clever and make sure to rotate things around so that everything fits. It's like a really satisfying round of Tetris. Also, you should know that you can stack ammo and combine herbs to make Ultra Mega Weed Plus Pro, trademark, in case you need to free up some space for the collection of grenades that you'll never use in fear you need them for a boss that will never come. Don't think I don't know you guys. And real talk, always invest in a bigger case once it becomes available in the store so you can be ballin' big time with the fat stacks. Now, RE4 has a plethora of secrets and extras that are just hanging around for kicks. One of the most noticeable extras are the shooting ranges that you might come across a few times while you progress through the game. But you can put your shooting skills to the test to get the big bucks and to make it rain. Daddy needs a new pair of rocket launchers, let's do it, yeah! Now, these things are totally optional, but it's best that you do any shooting range you find right away, because again, points of no return, guys, get it while it's hot, you feel? There's also little blue medallions hanging around in earlier parts of the game, and if you shoot most of them, you can unlock a neato pistol early on. So I don't know about you, but I like free stuff, so go for it, kiddos, it's worth trying. Now, if we're talking bare basics here, RE4 is a pretty straightforward game that can be beaten rather quickly with a decent amount of effort and if you have the reflexes of a god. But with that being said though, the game is designed to be replayed multiple times over to unlock extra modes, costumes, secrets, and side content featuring sassy Miss America. Most of the secrets open up after you beat the game once, but some of the other minor secrets you can get your first time around if you just travel back to areas that Ashley wasn't originally with you in, so you can get all the goods and maybe see her die. I don't know, that's always pretty satisfying to watch. Now, if you want to get the full story of Resident Evil, I do recommend doing Ada Wong's campaigns once you beat the game, since it's its own thing where you can run around as a sexy Asian woman who don't answer to no one shit. But yeah, her thing is worth doing, it's cool. Not to mention, if you beat them, you get to unlock all the extra costumes and play hardcore dress up with Ashley and Leon. Some of the costumes have unique powers though, so if that sounds interesting, links below for all the fashion tips. There's also a few types of new game pluses and modes, one being professional mode, which is just super duper extra hard I hate myself mode if you're looking for a challenge and something to prove. And there's also new round, which acts as a standard new game plus, and you play the game again with all of your past equipment. And over at the Buns Research Division, we have discovered that the more cool stuff you have, the funner the game will be. So go out there and have some fun, you wacky kids, with your technology and your video games and your murder. Go out there and kill something. Okay, so here are a bunch of tips and things you should know before you get started. If things weren't already obvious, if you're unsure of what to do, Leon literally tells you what to do with stuff if you just examine the darn thing. Don't waste bullets breaking boxes. Your knife can do that easy peasy. And be sure to always swing twice at boxes and barrels because of reasons. The game map shows you way more than just your objective, so be sure to check it often for extras and little secrets. Silence is your friend, and it means you're safe and you can be your fun and fancy free self, but once the creepy beat drops, get ready to pucker up because it means enemies are nearby. When you upgrade a weapon's ammo capacity, the gun is fully loaded with free ammo, so use that to your advantage, you freeloader. Flash grenades are a thing, a very useful thing. Don't be stupid and use them, you dingus. You can shoot dynamite out of enemies' hands for some good old-fashioned fireworks. Yeah! Make an effort to purchase the treasure map from the merchant when you get the chance. It's a solid investment, 10 out of 10. If you're walking around and you see a dog in need, help that doggo or else we aren't friends anymore. While there is a checkpoint system, be sure to save a lot of the typewriters because you never know. Who needs keys when you have a gun? Yeah, America! Shoot the locks, that's what I'm trying to say. You can shoot locks. Don't forget that you can push down ladders that enemies use and move big bookshelves to hold off dudes from breaking into places. Yellow herbs raise your max health, so chow down and make sure to keep up your health, kiddos. The rocket launcher is a one-shot weapon, so be sure to use it wisely. Shoot the water at the edge of the boardwalk for a big, awesome secret. Go on, do it! Nothing bad will happen, I swear. Why would I lie? It's not like people did this to me and I'm bitter or something. No, never. Trust me, it's fun. I'm still upset about it, you pieces of crap. Learn to do quick turns since it's a lifesaver because rotating around takes days. Oh my god. Just so there's no confusion, yes, in order to switch your weapon, you have to go into the inventory and select the weapon every gosh dang time. You'll get used to it though. Now, there may be an enemy that could cause you some serious trouble near the end, and I won't spoil it, but thermal scope. It's gonna say that thermal scope. It's in the freezer room. You're welcome. The crows in this game feed on money and grenades for some reason, so kill all and any you see to collect the goods. Only upgrade what guns you use, kiddo, and think carefully about what gun attachments you really need, because if you can aim just fine, why are you putting money into accuracy, you dingus?
Choices.
So while RE4 shook up the Resident Evil formula to a crazy degree, the changes and innovation that RE brought were so appealing to the masses that this game is still talked about and enjoyed to this day. And because of that, the game has been released on everything, and I mean everything. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. And even though Capcom has really struggled to make a game as fun and successful as RE4, at least they make sure that their best game is available to everybody. And let's pray to God RE7 is not crap. RE4 may be just one out of the series, but for most people, this is the game that set the standard for survivor horror and just darn good game design in general, because who knew you could have so much fun while screaming and pooping your pants, am I right? But I hope this Basics Beginner's Guide makes your gaming experience a little better. So please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Hey, how's it going? Did you like this video? Well, if you did, why don't you go watch another one, you nerd? Also, why don't you go follow me on Twitter so you can keep up to date on what's gonna happen next? Wanna watch me get the footage I need for these videos? Head on over to my Twitch so you can see me play games and talk to chat where no one is safe. If you want to support me directly and be a major part of making these videos, go pledge to my Patreon and waste your money on YouTube trash. And this month's Patreon shoutout goes to Moo Cow for President. Thank you so much for pledging, and don't forget that you have the best talking voice I've ever heard. Oh my god. If you have any tips for this game or any future games, please leave me a comment, tweet me, or send me a message. Later, you big nerds.